Welcome everyone to the House of Dre's podcast. I'm your host, Dre himself, and welcome to the podcast. The House of Dre podcast, it is legitimately the king of random topics. I am the king of random topics, meaning I can go bar to bar with anybody on any topic possible. We're talking about movies, TV shows, video games, music, um, um, books, anime, manga, comic books, where anything is possible here in the House of Dre. This is what the House of Dre is built for, is for your absolute peak of randomness. So that's something that you definitely enjoy listening to or watching. Make sure you hit the like, comment, and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Make sure you're sharing the podcast, liking the podcast. The podcast is available on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Pandora, and of course here on YouTube. And I probably got some other spots I'm probably not thinking of. That's just normally what I do anyway. But today's podcast, we're talking about the Writers Lab, aka creation of your worlds. You know what I'm saying? This is for all the people out there who are creating their own books and stuff, writing books, power systems, and all this stuff, and everything in between. Everything in between. Basically, what I'm gonna do is break it down. I'm gonna break it down to how I end up doing it and stuff like that, and maybe give you a little bit of insight of how to do it. You know what I'm saying? But let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. If y'all know, I do write books on the side. I write books for fun for myself. I have three books that are out right now. Working on book. Well, I got three books. I got a side book that's coming out, like not a side book, but it's like a short story, a continuation from a short story that is coming out here soon. Actually, I need to go ahead and drop it. I don't know what I'm waiting on. But I'm gonna upload that probably today. And this is the website that I do upload everything onto, just in case you guys wanted to go take a look at them, get some reading in. It is a free website. You don't need to buy anything off of. It is right here. It is called wattpad.com, wattpad.com slash AJ Green 2012. I probably want to change that at some point. Yeah, this is where I do all my uploading for the books that I'm writing right now. um New updated stuff will be updated when I update them at some point and stuff, but this is where I write my stuff at, upload them at: the Chaos World Part 1 and Part 2, the Video Game Master, and the new Protector. And then I also have My Fighting Valentines. This is the spot where I upload every single one of these books that I write. And then I put the books up. After that, I end up putting them on Amazon for Kindles and stuff like that. So you guys get a hard cover for it and everything like that. But it is called wattpad.com. If you're familiar with it, I mean, look your boy up. You know what I'm saying? Give me a little bit of reading stuff and get you some ideas of what I do. So that is the website where I upload all my books at. So creating worlds. That's a very fun and difficult concept to do, especially in the world that we live in, with a lot of fantasy stuff does go on. A lot of my stuff is based off of, not based off anything, it's based off of stuff that I have seen, especially anime heavy influence, very very heavy influence. But I also wanted to create my own original piece of work, you know what I'm saying? And some people like me. I'm using my example because it's me. I'm not a drawer. I can't draw. I can't draw worth nothing. And if I could draw, it'll probably take me way too long to draw out all these pictures and characters and worlds that I'm building. And instead, I'll tell you right now, I do use ChatGPT. It's an AI system that I do for images and images only. Now, I notice a lot of you guys out there are gonna push back heavily and you're upset about it. I don't care. I really don't care. It's for it's for me. It's for me. It's what I use for images and stuff. Now, is everything images going to look great? Of course not. No. But at the exact same time, I have to use it because I use it because my lack of drawing. When somebody has a lack of experience of doing something, you're using a tool to help you build that up. And that's what I do. Now, if somebody asks me, am I an artist? No. Heck no, I'm not. I'm nowhere near an artist. I cannot draw worth crap. It'll probably take me way too long to draw stuff out and stuff, and I just don't have time. I'm a writer. I write. I just write stuff. That's what I do best. I write stuff and I make y'all YouTube videos at some point. That sometimes y'all like, sometimes y'all don't. It is what it is. It's what it is. I'm a podcaster. I don't do all that other stuff. But so that's one of the things that I like in is writing, which is, I mean, it's not writing, is drawing. And yeah, I know some people are like, well, just get somebody to do it. Like, yeah, how much are you paying to create stuff that I'm thinking off of? By the time you get done with one, I'm gonna have 50 to 100 more stuff I need you to draw as soon as possible, quickly as possible too, because I move real quick. My brain works really quick. For one chapter, for one, just for me, for one chapter, I'll introduce probably 10 to 15 new 10 to 15 characters. Backgrounds are different. Everything is changing. I'm like, yeah, I need all that. I need all that before I start up. And then by the time you get done with that, I'm already 3, 4, 5, 6 chapters deep into the writing. It's just what happens. That's what some of us writers do. Us writers, the ones who can't draw and we just go and we just write. We have to use technology tools and technology that's available to us. That's so if you're upset about it, get out your feelings. I don't know what to tell you. Get out your feelings. But let's talk about everything. Let's talk about everything. I ain't jumped the gun already. First of all, for me personally, when I'm writing a story and book writing in general, I have to focus on the power system. So power systems plays the factor of what characters can do what in that universe, right? Dragon Ball has Kai, Naruto has chakra, Hunter x Hunter uses it was Nin, yeah, Nin. You have Jujutsu Kaisen, they uses the curse energy. You have Bleach that uses was it resonant? I want to say resonant, something like that. Um, in early One Piece, it was Devil Fruits, and then Hakai, not Hakai, Haki. You like want me to keep? Do I need to keep going? I don't think I need to keep going. My Hero Academia use quirks, etc., etc., etc. So every single different universe that you've watched that's anime related uses different power system. So for my power systems, it's always depends on what I'm trying to write. So for the Chaos World itself, I end up using a thing called Rai. Rai is the source energy. Rai is the using Rai doubles the amount of power you can add. So somebody can use a fireball. A fireball is cool. It's decent. A fireball is a regular fireball, but adding Rai to that fireball makes that fireball massive. It makes it stronger than a basic fireball. And that was the two difference that I always use. When I'm writing that, I'm writing that, oh, this person is using this type of attack, but this person is using a Rai based attack that increases said attack. The system of the power system that I use is it depends on the book I'm writing. So like I said, in the Chaos World, it was Rai. In the New Protector, which is more of a superhero book, which I really haven't introduced too much of the Rai system. I mean, in the energy system in that aspect because I didn't think of it until I was already pretty much done with it. But the power system in that would be called a pulse limit for the heroes and villains to use. The pulse system is going to be their energy source, and then for the video game master, it is manga drive. That is a power system dedicated for that universe. But all the universes, so whenever you do verses and stuff like that, and the power system and stuff, you have to explain you have to bring up what's the power system in there, and then you want to continue to use that power system no matter what. We do it all the time when people be like, "Oh yeah, death battle, da da da." Like, "Oh well, if this equals this, then this happens." People try to write it all you want to, but it is the source energy material for said universe. It works around all universes. There might be a different. You can call it however you want to call it. Overall, it's the energy source for said system. With each energy source for certain system, you're going to have strengths, weaknesses, drawbacks, all this different stuff. So the first thing you should do is what is your power system? That's the first thing. That makes it different. I know some people be like, you just got to think. You have to think, create a name for it. I end up getting Rai, Rai. I end up using Rai like that because it is something that is it's transversion. It can be used no matter what, right? It does everything. It gives access to just energy sources in general, and not just from the chaos world, but from like real life stuff. If we all had right energy, we all be a lot more. A lot of things we'd be able to do would be times 10. Let's be honest here. Like I said, that's just how I do it. Now depends on what your favorite energy system is. That plays a factor because what is it? Hunter x Hunter, they have the Nin ability, but they all have different, those different quirks for it, the little six to seven different things for it for it that it just manipulates different things. It's not a complex system. It's an interesting system, I would say, but I'm whatever. But that's me. That's just how I did my power system. So for your power system, just try to think of something. Maybe you can enhance on something. Some people lose magic. Magic is a powerful system that a lot of shows end up using, and they can cross paths from other magic places and stuff. You can do that. You can definitely do that. I'm not gonna say no, you're wrong. No, you can do that. You can do that. Magic play. Maybe you make it a magic. Maybe it's the magic. Magic. The system is magic, but you times that magic by like 10. Like this is Magic XL. Like what's Magic XL? Magic XL is our energy source, and we increase it so much that if you use said magic system, everything is increased. Usually I could just punch a wall. With the Magic XL power, I can break down a whole wall with one punch. Differences, even though you're just a basic human or something. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. So the power system is something that you'll need for your for everything. But of course, the power system don't mean nothing if you don't have worlds and worlds to build around. You know what I'm saying? Worlds to build around. So let's talk about that. Building worlds, difficult. Yeah, difficult because it for me that started from scratch with the chaos world. The chaos world was started from scratch. So starting that from scratch meaning I have to create I'm creating a whole new universe that doesn't relate to real life. Meaning a lot more work has to be done. I have to create these universe. I had to create the universe, what's inside that universe, the story behind the universe, the lore behind the universe is crazy. So I'm gonna show y'all a little bit of pictures that I had chat cook up for me over the was it over the year or so that I've been using chat GPT or whatever to create said universes. And I'm gonna show y'all seen if you've been on this channel for a while, y'all seen it pretty much. It's the explaining the chaos world, explaining my chaos world videos and stuff like that. So you guys probably seen it already, but I'm gonna go ahead and share it. Just in case you haven't, that's okay, because some of y'all might be new, some of y'all might just be passing through. This right here is called the Unlimited Nation. This is the Unlimited Nation for the this the for the for my book. As you can tell, it's a lot of details back here in these photos right here. There's a lot of stuff going on, right? We have this is the main building area. You have buildings over here. The blue that you see is the right energy exploring itself throughout the whole universes and stuff. As you can tell, that's lighting up the world. The blue is the right energy. Now, right energy can be different colors and stuff like that, but mainly it's blue. Basic, if from basic form from a basic human, it will be blue. That is the limited nation. That's just how that is the thought process that me and the chat end up doing together to create the unlimited nation. So that is one. Here is I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna show you all six. Like I said, it's in my it's in the archives somewhere. I just know it's in the archives somewhere. Probably it's like it's playing in my books or something. I forgot the name of it, but that is one world. This one right here is called the Ladies of Light Nation. This is where the lady fighters of the universes, not all of them, but a good handful of them comes from. And this is their universe here. As you see, it's golden and white. The bright energy you see coming off the waters and pools right here also plays in the fact to write that. Like I said, like I said, I love my work. Like I said, you might hate it or whatever for whatever reason. This probably irritates a lot of y'all anti AI users or whatever. That's cool. I'm not gonna say you're right or wrong. It's just that's cool. That's cool for you. I don't. That doesn't affect my thought process. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't affect that at all. Here is the next one here. I'm doing this. I'm trying to do this as fast as possible. I have to freaking close and reopen up every single tab possible. That's what happens. This is the Speed Nation right here. Like I said, this is a. There it is. This is the Speed Nation here. Some of the fastest of the universe lives here in this nation. You see the blue energy right here. That is the blue rise still going on, and it's built based off of their namesakes. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things right here for said nation. showcases right there for you guys. Next up, it is the Knights. The Knights Nation is probably one of the more classic versions of the universe where like I probably end up I'm not gonna change it. I'll probably do an ancient version of these. But this is the Knights Nation here. Represent their names too. This right here, bright energy that they exploited up here nowadays, like that with crafts and stuff. You never know what the Knights Nations are building. You know what I'm saying? They just do their own stuff, but also keeping true to their own name and stuff. You got a lot of stuff going on in the background right here. My clothes and stuff is going off, so excuse that right there. But y'all be all right. You got that right there. The next one is the Elite Nation. The Elite Nation of the Chaos World. And I'll show that here as soon as I learn how to push buttons correctly. Ha ha ha. Ba-da-da-da. Katawi, this is the Elite Nation right here. I can see the blue energy is still, like I said, the right energy is still going crazy where it needs to go crazy at, and all different points of aspects with buildings everywhere with the blue energy. This, like I said, this is the Elite Nation right here. This is a very elite nation. And let me tell y'all this right now. When y'all watching this video, when you're watching this and you're looking at all the images and stuff, and if you're a drawer and stuff, you know, you draw pictures and stuff, you're a good drawer. Let me know how long it'll take you to create that. Let me know how long it will take you to draw all these images that I'm showcasing you guys. Because if it takes you a little while, you see why I end up going to using AI. Now, of course, I like hand drawn art too, but you know, sometimes it's sometimes, man. And this right here is the Commander's Nation. This is the sixth nation of the Chaos World. As you can tell, military-minded thought process. The blue energy is right here. Throughout is the right energy showcasing itself throughout all this drama right here. But those are the six nations. And it took me maybe 2 to 3 years to book right, get the nations down, and getting the lore behind the nation still took me up until probably like late last year, even early this year to actually fully expand on the nations and stuff. And I still think about it to this day. I mean, it is my first book that I ever wrote, so right here it still goes into it. But not only that, but from that creating these nations and creating what they can and can't do and stuff like that. I also have to collect the history behind them, their conflict compared to everybody, and all this other stuff when it involves said nations and stuff like that. So the Chaos World is from scratch, right now, from scratch, and having to create said universe. Now the other ones, the New Protector, which is a superhero book, I basically use the United States. The United States, I use what we have nowadays, technology and stuff nowadays, to create the New Protector. I'm just adding the superhero aspect into it, and that's how I came up. So that's easier when I can just stuff is already set. The structure and stuff of said world is set already. The United States is here, Russia's here, Canada. You know, the map is here. I can work off of this. It's 10 times easier doing that than it is creating literally from scratch. So creating from scratch and building, that makes it difficult. And then a video game master, which is set in a fictional version of, I mean, they all set in fictional world, so fictional version of the US too, to an extent, but it's more of a video game enhancement. You know what I'm saying? It's more video game enhancement and stuff. And that's set in its own little universes too. So all the worlds are created differently. And then from that, I still got 3 to 4 more books I'm about to write, and they all set in their own universe also, which once again I have to create from scratch again. So a lot of stuff is from scratch. It takes time. It definitely takes time. It's not supposed to be easy, people. It's not. If it was easy, everybody would be book writers and stuff and whatever, and Hollywood would be better. But let's be honest, that's not easy at all. Let me see if I can turn this light up. Let me see this real quick. I mean, not the light up, but just turn on this back. It's nice outside in Oklahoma for a change. That's what's up. Which I think like that. And I mean, that's cool. That's cool, but then again, I don't want people to be looking to my window, looking at me while I'm recording and stuff. It's weird to me. That's weird. It's weird. Even though I'll be recording outside sometimes. Anyway, That's not the point. But everything is started from scratch. So building your worlds and stuff, it's not gonna be easy. It's literally starting from scratch, especially if you're not using what we have today. If you're not using what we have today, like you say, oh yeah, I'm doing stuff based in China. That's easy, right? Because if you're from China or you know a lot about China, you can create your worlds from China. But if you're like me, I mean, if you're like the Harry Potter world, the stuff like that, where you have to really erase everything, start from scratch, build up. It takes time. It takes a lot more time than I thought. I didn't even know. I always thought it was gonna be easy, but no, because then my brain starts working more, and then I'm going back and I'm rewriting stuff and I'm enhancing. I'm like, I said, this is tiring now. This is very tiring. But that started from scratch and stuff like that. Building the worlds, it's difficult because now you have your power system and you have your worlds, and you're combining the history. The Rise system has been around since day one, right? It's been around for decades, centuries, and stuff. And then the world's just been the world how it is. It's just the nations are being built now to this world and how much effect that they have in the real world. It's different. It's definitely different. From that, from that alone, we are going down to creating your protagonist. Now, now this is difficult too because there's so many ways you can go with the protagonist. Do you go with a basic protagonist? Do you go with a stereotype dumb character but actually smart and in battle smarts? You know, flip flop, flip flop, flip flop, flop. You can do a lot of different things right there. For me personally, my protagonist, he's smart. He's a smart character, whatever. He's not dumb or anything like that. I make sure not to do that for all three so far. Pretty much from all of them, they're all going to be intelligence. They're going to be smart. They're going to be using their brains. They're not your your stereotypical. Oh, he's just a dumb character. He gets strong. This is what we like. No, no, no. I wanted to change that. Well, of course, all the main characters so far are African American slash black. More for people who knows, they are black heroes being created, and they're intelligent. They're using this when they fight. They're thinking before they do stuff. They are seeing the outlook. Now they're gonna have some moments where they're like, what? But most of them are intelligence. They all have to stand out for their own quirks and things. Um Jamal, aka Javelin Storm from the New Protector. He is a teenager who, of course, he wants to be cool and good with everybody in the world, but at the same time, he does have a little bit of rage in him that he's never tapped into just yet. He never tapped into that rage, and who's pushing that limit for him to tap into that rage? How much all this peer pressure and stuff can add it to him for him to actually stand out as a hero? And then you turn around K2 from the video game master, who's the main character there. He has a history of past aggression and being angry and stuff and destruction and stuff. He's trying to cool off and not go back to that state again, and we're trying to work the character around that and how he fits into the world and why he is how he is. That's the key. So creating a protagonist, it's not hard. It's not hard. It's kind of like you're putting a little bit of yourself into your characters, which is okay to do because you can do that. There's nothing wrong with putting a little bit of character, putting a little bit of yourself inside your own characters. I think you should definitely do that. If you There's a quirk about you that you like. If you're a person that love to help somebody, maybe that's a quirk that you put for your character. Your character loves helping so much that people just get addicted to them. They just fall in love with the fact that that's what they do best. That would be great. But at the same time, you got to have a villain that does the counteractor to it. What make this villain so memorial? Why does this villain stand out? What makes this villain so much a villain and stuff? What's the counter to him in the main character? And that sometimes that can hurt and help your series out. If the main if the main villain is just boring, he's nothing attracts you to him. He doesn't seem dangerous. He just seems like a regular character. You're not gonna go too far. So for the chaos world, I introduced. Let me think. Let me see. One, two. The main one was 3, 5. Yeah, it's about 5 to 6. I think I'm gonna say 6. Let's go safe with 6. 'Cause I have to go and read. I have to go reread some stuff. It's about 5 to 6 villains throughout the entire book. It's two-part books. The 6 villains, 6 main villains right there. 6 main villains that I use in that book. And they scale and they continue to scale up and scale up and scale up to how much of a threat they are. And they all have their own motives on what they're trying to accomplish here. That plays a factor. In the video game master, the main villain is villains throughout the series too, up until you get to the head scratching moments and stuff like that. And then conflict happens and stuff. So escalations and stuff increases. And a new protector, there was a constant main threat that's been hinted at since day one, and then it explodes into this massive thing to right now where I'll be writing part two at some point. Spoiler alert! Now I'll be making part two to it that it's even bigger than it's been. So making the main villain also plays a factor because you have to put in so much details for that character too. How much of a main villain are you? Is that because they are? I mean, what's their end goal? What's the end goal? Oh, what's world domination? That's it. That's a boring end goal. Like, that's all they want? What's tying them into it? What's making them world domination? What sets them apart from different villains? You know what I'm saying? Is it because Emperor Pilaf from Dragon Ball? That's all he wanted was world domination. That was it. That's all he cared for. Frieza wanted to enslave the entire universe. He wanted to control the entire universe underneath his hand. That's the big difference. World domination from Pilaf, universal domination from Frieza. Two different ideals. They want to dominate, but how do they do it? Not only that, Pilaf just wanted to do it because he could put fear in people. He was looking at Earth as, oh yeah, we got guns, we got tanks and stuff. Yeah, I can do this. Frieza's like, yeah, I can destroy planets. Big difference. That's a big difference. I can destroy planets. You can control the human race and people. I'm controlling the universe where there's other species out here that you don't know nothing about. Two different people with two different, with same thought process, but different levels to it. That's the thing. So one of the main villains in the video game master wanted to take control over certain warriors and use them to dominate the universe, dominate the world. But that character also doesn't know about there's 3 to 4 other different characters who can do the exact same thing, but they're a lot more powerful than them. And they don't know nothing about that. So that's the levels of different of when it comes to the villain writing. So the villain writing also, they have to have a thought process. How did they get to this point? What is their right? How do they get to said goal? Do they just go out and try to dominate the world? No, you have to build up to it. You have to have a reason for it. And one thing that has been a running trope in anime, which has helped out a lot of anime shows, in my personal opinion, is having a group of villains that the main character in characters that the good guys have to overcome. Naruto had the Akatsuki, Bleach had the Espada, and they had a different group too. Um, you had One Punch Man and the monster in the Monster Society. You had My Hero Academia and and Shikaraku's group. I forgot the name of that group for some reason. I'm drawing a blank on them. You had demon slayers and you had the demons, but then you had the upper demons and stuff. You had the 12 keys. You had the 7 deadly sins, and you had first you start off with the Holy Knights, and then you turn from the Holy Knights to the Demon Clan in general. So everybody had a group or some sort of group they had to deal with, and it continues to build that way. And you can help that with your story, right? So the story writing, like I said, for anybody out there, if you're writing your story, come up with a villain group. Come up with a big time villain group that the main character and them have to come over and give everybody different stuff to come over. It helps out a lot. It helps you out instead of just being forced to write like, oh yeah, well, it's the main character and they da 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 da. Get a villain group out there. That helps out a lot. The villain group helps push back against the main character stuff. Now have make you have come over some stuff, make them fight against characters they have never fought before and stuff, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm telling you right now, it helps long term and it helps greatly for what you're trying to accomplish. Now, we got your power system, you got your worlds built, you have your protagonist, you have your anti-protagonist, you have a lot of stuff. How do you write a battle scene? That's difficult. I'm not gonna lie, that's difficult. I just have a knack to writing it, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how everybody else has it, but I just have a knack for book writings. I mean, I have a right to bite fighting scenes, and I do it based off of certain scales. If I'm fighting somebody, you and a person are into a fight, regular people fighting. Depends. Let's say both of y'all just average people that knows how to fight. So it's just you and that person, y'all just fighting. Cool. How do we up this? Okay, this person knows martial arts. This person is a boxer. That's another scale. What's the next scale after that? Well, this person is was part of the strongman competition. So his punch forces is a little bit stronger than this other guy's punch forces. Okay, how do we scale across that? Well, this guy is a track meet. He sprints and stuff. He runs, he does tracks and stuff. He runs and he's a sprinter. Now he's using his speed. He's a little bit more mobile. He's a little bit more agility. So that comes in a factor. How do we upgrade that one? Well, now we're starting to get to some unrealistic things. The beauty about the beauty about fight scenes, in my personal opinion, is there's a source of everywhere, right? There's a source of everywhere. You have your animes and mangas. You have DC and Marvel, and they have movies. They have their animated shows. You have that to go off of. You have cartoons and what they've done. You have fantasy shows in general. I throw out one. You have Twilight. You have Underworld. You have Harry Potter. You have Avatar: The Last Airbender. You have you have Training Day for the gun shooting aspect of stuff, the durability and trying to survive and stamina and stuff. So you have access fight scenes. You have so much access to so much different stuff, especially with movies and stuff that you can pull out for big old fly. That's a big country fly. I ain't got no fly swatter next to me, dang it. I ain't got my fly swatter. It sucks. Big though. It's crazy work. Anyway, you have so many different stuff that you can use to create your fights, and then you can showcase the different skill sets. I'm faster than this person, but this person has more destructive capability. My reaction time is different. Using the environment around me, what's around me that I could use. Emotions during a fight. He becomes more angry. She becomes more calm when as the fight continues, which throws off the opponent. The category. Well, how did this go? If two characters are fighting, how would this truly go within the character's logic? Logically, this person has no hand-to-hand combat. What they're not going to do is try to go to hand-to-hand combat. It's like, what are they doing? They don't fight hand-to-hand combat. They're more destructive capability. They're more of using XYZ for their fighting. Why would they do this? Details in explaining how much happens in that fight. The guy punches the female punches the guy so hard he broke a rib cage within that punch. He landed and went through the wall. So she punched him, broke a rib cage. He went flying so far that he went through the wall and the wall caved into him and the building crashes down onto him. He gets up, dusted off, found out he healed his bones, and she's in total shock. She's like, what just happened just now? There's no way you just survive a punch like that. He's like, my turn now. That's escalating. And then the more you escalate, it depends on how powerful your characters get. The stronger your characters get, don't forget about this logic up here. Remember, that's I think something sometimes right here, it goes out the window in writing. The character is so powerful, I can blow up a planet. Logically, I can blow up this planet. However, I'm refusing to use that much power in this to use that sort of power in this fight because if I do, the world is destroyed, and then I don't want to lose anybody in this world. Those are logic that you have to remember. Sometimes they don't. they don't showcase that, especially in a lot of animes. So a lot of people downgrade a lot of things. Dragon Ball Z is one of those shows that people like to downgrade for whatever reason. It's clearly these characters can blow up planets. Logically, they can blow up the planet anytime they want to. Realistically, they're not trying to blow up the planet because they kill all their loved ones. Why would I do that? That makes no sense to me. The idea, when you're writing and building the stories, the idea is the main character doesn't want to destroy places that their loved one lives on. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. That this counteract what them being a protagonist is all about. The villain, the entire protagonist, they want to do that because then they can just rebuild it or however they see fit. They can do that. So that's what they're trying to do. So you have to make sure whenever you write the fight scenes and stuff, especially when you get into the point to where these characters are affecting um islands and continents and the Earth's core and the Earth's structure and their moon level, and they become galaxy. I mean, then they become moon level, then solar system, then star and universe and whatever. How far you're trying to write, you make sure you put into the logic of what they're thinking and what they can and can't do. It gets blown out the way. It definitely gets blown out the way. That would be bad. And then so we talked about all that. The last thing we need to talk about is how to structure your story. Story structure, art building, building up to stuff, when to stop, everything. So this is the last final thing. Last final thing I want to tell y'all before I get up out of here, right? I always say, this is how I've always said this. When you're writing a story, if you got the thought process in your head, once you have the thought process and you start writing, stop. What is the end of your story? That is the most important question. What is the very ending of your story? How do your story supposed to end off? I'm when I write the books, I'm like, what is the ending to the story? What is that supposed to look like? Because I don't know. I don't know. So in the very beginning, sometimes I don't know. And it takes me a while. I could be writing and writing and writing, but after a while, I need to find the ending. This freaking fly as loud as a mamma jamma. Golly. Anyway, when I'm writing and writing and writing, I have to come to an ending at some point. It has to end because there's a limitation. I have to end it at some point. Not all the time I can find an ending in the very beginning. Sometimes it's in the middle. Sometimes it's 10 chapters deep. Sometimes it's 20 chapters deep. The New Protector was an example of that. I didn't have an ending for the New Protector when I was writing. I didn't know how to end it. I didn't. I did not know how to end it. I just kept writing. I was like, I don't know. And then I was like, I got it. I said, I got it. I got the ending now. I said, I got it. Cool. Perfect. Now I got my ending. I said, here's my end goal. The same thing happened with the Video Game Master. I didn't have an ending for the Video Game Master up until I was 5 chapters away from ending it. I was like, you know what? I said, if this is going to be the ending, I'm 5 chapters away. I need to start escalating the storyline and started pushing towards that ending because it's coming soon. And I need to make sure I have all my ducks in a row. So when you do that, sometimes you have to write longer pages. You have to make it longer. I'm probably writing probably 10 pages a chapter sometimes, and then sometimes I'm not writing that many. But I'm gonna end up extending my writing even more to where it's gonna be 15, 20 pages per chapter or something like that. Why not? Why not? I have to do something. But once you have the ending and you can end it off at a really good note, a really high level note, you feel good. Now sometimes you want to leave it off as a potentially what happens, and then you can go from there. For me, writing, I also write down arcs. You know what I'm saying? Story building. And arcs are very important because it tells you what you want to do per arc. First arc. The first arc here is introduction to the main character in the first major arc. So get my introduction to the character, tell them what's going on with the book. So my first arc ended. My first arc went three. Let me fact check that. Actually, I want to say it's this me. Pretty sure my first arc of the Chaos World, it was 3 chapters deep. 3 chapters, 60 pages, if I'm not mistaken. 30 pages, not 60. Whoa, that'd have been a lot. I think the first arc is three like I said, it was 3 chapters long for the first arc because yeah, first 3 chapters of the first arc, and then I had a no, yeah, 3 chapters, and then I had 2 chapters, which was a mini chapters, which were mini chapters in between. They'd be in between the first arc and the second arc. I want to make sure that that happened. From there, the next arc was about two, three, about 4 chapters deep. And then, I mean, technically, not even 4 chapters deep, because technically all this runs together. So it's one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, about 9 chapters deep. 9 chapters deep. 10 chapters deep. I'll take that back. So the next arc was about 10 chapters deep, and then we ended it off with one, two, three, four, five, about 6 chapters after that. So like I said, so I split that up just like that. And then on my other one, the next book and stuff, there was all massive arcs. So it was only 3 big massive arcs in that one or whatever. But you have to split it up. Sometimes you have to chill out, make a small little mini arc going on in between these arcs. That way you can separate what's happening with the big arcs. You know what I'm saying? Since my part 2 was 3 maze of arc, because it was like these 3 arcs are happening back to back to back. Let's do this arc. Let's do a recovery line. Let's do the next arc. Let's do the recovery, and then let's do the final arc. So everything's built up to that. It happens. You have to have that. You have to have that. It'll help out majorly. So, what do we learn today? What do we learn when writing your fantasy stuff? When you're writing books and stuff? Create your worlds. Create your worlds. Find out if you're creating from scratch or you're stealing, or not stealing, or you're using the world that we have today. Let's start off with that. Let's do our power system. What kind of power system are we having? Do we have any power system? What's different from your power system to anybody else's power system? What's the pros? What's the cons, weaknesses, strengths, and stuff like that? Let's get our protagonist. What makes your protagonist stand out? Is your protagonist followable or whatever? How's the protagonist? And in the counter to the protagonist, what is your anti-protagonist? What do they do? How do they respond to everything that happens in the world and stuff like that, and to the main character in general? When does those two meet up that highlight them fighting in the future? Next up is the fight scenes. How to escalate the fight scenes, how to do it correctly, how to do it incorrectly, how to do it in general. And then finally, when it's all said and done, well, I forgot what I said last time. Oh, it is the structuring of your story, build the arcs, how the story is gonna go, how it's gonna rotate, how is it? It should flow. That's what I'm saying. It should flow. Your story should flow. If your story doesn't flow, it it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt when it doesn't flow because you feel like you screwed up. Also, writer's block. I mean, writer's block is a real thing. Don't get upset because you have writer block. This is what I do. Sometimes you write so much, you write so much, you write so much, you write so much, you get stuck. Take a break. 1 week, 2 weeks, don't touch it. Don't touch it. Don't write nothing. Don't do anything. Leave it. Do life normal. Work, work out, do whatever else. Eventually, and then after the week or 2 weeks, however, come back to the story. Read from the very beginning to where you at. Something pops out. I guarantee you, something will pop out. It will help you out majorly. It will pop out, and then when it pops out, you'll be like, "Oh yeah, I wanted to do blah 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 blah," because the thoughts comes back. Sometimes you have to take a break, reread some stuff, look at some stuff, reread some chapters and stuff, take a look at everything, because it's something you probably wrote in there that you kind of forgot about when you was writing, and it kind of went away, and you're like, "Oh wait, I wanted to do this." Yeah. I'm like, man, I've been writing a story for a while. I've been writing a story for about four months now, and I'm deep in this writing, and I'm stuck now. I don't know what to do. Take the break, come back, start rereading. Oh yeah. This is supposed to happen because this is what I was thinking of. Basically, you read your stuff as though you're a fan. you're just reading the stuff. And you're like, man, why I didn't do this? Because you're also the artist. You're also the writer. You can edit that now. Now you can edit it. Duh. That's what was the goal. The goal was to go ahead and do. Let's get it back, and then you get it back. It takes time. It's not everybody can do it. Some people end up giving up on it. Why? Never give up on your art. Never give up on your art. Whatever you're writing, don't give up on it. Just keep it pushing. Take that break. Refresh your mind. Come back. Read your work. Even if you're so busy you can't write at this point in time, guess what? Read your stuff. Read your stuff. Sit down, read your stuff. Sometimes I go back and I read all my stuff. I reread everything from the beginning. Sometimes I just reread the last chapter. Sometimes I have to I'm watching a show or something and it flicks in my mind. Sometimes I'm at work working and it comes to my mind about ideas and I start writing them down, or I just send it to my wife. I send her a text message or something. She'll be like, "What? Don't worry about it. Just for the book. Don't worry about it. It's for me and for the book. Don't worry about it." But yeah, hey, that is your writer's lab. Writer's lab right there. This is how you build your own world. Structure and stuff. It's a lot of work. It's not going to be easy. It's not supposed to be easy. It's going to frustrate you. Definitely, it's going to frustrate you. You're going to think of some ideas when you're already done and stuff and over with. Even right now at this point in time, I'm right now. Even though I'm done writing all 3 books right now, I'm going back and I'm creating the characters using Chat GPT AI. Yes, creating the characters and stuff because I want to start eventually I want to do audiobooks. And when I start doing the audiobooks, I want to make sure people have the characters and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So on YouTube right now, here on the YouTube podcast. Hello, my YouTube people. Here at some point, within I may not give you a time frame. I'm gonna say if not by the end of the year, not between from now through the end of the year, if it doesn't happen by the end of the year, in 2026, I'm gonna start uploading images and character breakdowns of my characters from the Chaos world. We're gonna talk about what they look. You're gonna have an image of what they're closely gonna look like, closely give or take, closely what they look like. I'm gonna give you their abilities and stuff, and I'm just gonna talk about them. I'm gonna make episodes for them, and we're just gonna be doing that for a while. And y'all just gonna have to stick with it because they're here, they're in canon, and I want to make sure at some point you guys can go ahead and take these characters and put them in your favorite death battles. I want that to happen. Yes, I want that. I want you to put them in your favorite fantasies. Hey, what about the characters from the Chaos world? I'm gonna use Team Unlimited Nation. This would be the characters for Team Unlimited Nation, and we're gonna take them and we're gonna put them in the Tournament of Power. How does that work out? Well, from the information we got from the writer himself, the guy who actually created the universe, this is what they can all do. This is what they can do. This is their blah 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 blah. This is blah blah blah. This is blah 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 blah. This is from the book himself. He said it himself. This is what he said. What's the counter to that? Well, can they do this? Da 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 da. Let me tag him. Let me tag him from YouTube. Let me tag him on social media. Follow me on Twitter at Andre Green 94. I said it every time because I put a pause because I don't never plug in any my social medias at all. I never do. Why? That's what I do, dogs. I ain't gonna lie. This is what I do. I don't never plug in my stuff. But at me at Andre Green 94 on the Twitter. I said it twice, but I want to make sure. Oh yeah, at Andre Green 94 on Twitter. At me there. At me there, especially if you start using my characters for death battles, for fantasy stuff, anything that you need to know about the books and stuff. At me there, especially when I start pushing these out harder and I get these characters details and stuff out. And I got you. That's it though. That is it. That's all I have for y'all for today's podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed today's podcast. I'm gonna make sure we start doing these podcasts once a week. I want to make sure we get that out. And then wrestling topic, question mark, 2026. Let's say that 2026 wrestling podcast will be on YouTube. Let's go with that. That's the thought process to do like that. Make sure you guys hit the like, comment, and subscribe. Sharing the podcast, following the podcast is available on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Pandora, and of course here on YouTube. Dre's Wrestling Talk is available on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. I'm Dre. I'm your host, and I'm out like a light switch.